Hello guys, this is video 4 and we're recording this tutorial for you to share some of the best knowledge that we have, and hopefully you will learn some of the basic and some advanced techniques using Cinema 4D, and we will tell you that how you can create this abstract scene in Cinema 4D. Right now there is no animation involved in this scene, but in as we go ahead, and I will tell you that how you can add some camera movements and some advanced camera animation, and how you can polish your animation, especially your camera animation. And I will also tell you that how you can control your camera very intelligently, so you will be able to control the rotation, uh, banking, and the position of your camera without having very weird results. So to create this scene, here you can see that there are some abstract pipes you can see, and some sort of little fragments of little small cylinders, where you can see that. So to build that tunnel, we will be starting from an empty scene. To do that, let's go and start. So we are here in the new scene. So I'm gonna turn on my grid, so I will be able to actually draw the splines very accurately. So to draw the lines that we are gonna convert to pipes, you need to select the linear spline tool, or you can select Akima, B-spline, or cubic one. It depends on your choice, but I would like to use linear spline. After selecting the linear spline, you may need to draw your spline shape. That shape, you are actually defining the shape of your pipe. So after drawing the shape, we need to make some adjustments with the shape of this uh, spline. To do that, we need to go to this tool, which is selection tool. Hold down your mouse button and you will be prompted to the next additional options. So after that, you need to select a rectangle selection tool, and then select all of your points, and then right click on your mouse and then select soft interpolation. So here you can see that the harsh edges are now gone, and we have some smooth spline here. So this is the spline that we are going to convert into the pipe. To do that, we are going to use sweeteners. To use sweeteners with the spline, we need to go to spline menu again, and then we need to select a circle, or four side, rectangle, end side, or floor, or edge. Well, it depends on your choice, that what you want what you want your shape to be look like. It depends on you. And also I would like to make some modifications to the spline. Right now you can see that it is very flat. It is totally flat. There are no bump and there are no height in this spline. So to fix that thing, I need to go to the custom view. For example, I am adjusting this thing from the front side. I will select any of the point and I will just move it a little bit up, so we have little curve in the spline. So I will be doing with some of the points, and maybe this one goes down, and this way we have some weird or random bumps in this spline. So after adjusting this thing, you need to select the shape. For example, I'm going to select four side, and then I will select sweep knobs. So So to make the pipe, I am gonna plug this fourth side into sweep nerve, and then I am gonna plug the spline right under the fourth side. So by doing that, you can see that we have some kind of shape here. So this is the shape that we are gonna use as a spline, as a pipe. So we are here in the front. Probably I am having some not good results, so I need to make it a little down. Probably I need to adjust its position because it is going up way too much. So here it is adjusted now, and there we go. We need to turn on the spline. So to fix this edgy error, we need to move the point to the place where we would see that that edge has been recovered and it is working just fine. So to make these adjustments, I'm just moving the spline point, and I'm getting the fine result. It depends on you. I don't know what shape you have made, but if you are following the same, then you need to repeat the same procedure as I am doing. So it may also be possible that you are not getting any error, but in case if you get, then you need to adjust this thing. So here we have the basic pipe shape. I think it's too big, so I'm going to reduce its size. For example, 100 by 100, and maybe this is way too much either. Sorry, 50 plus 50. So here we have it. So I'm gonna turn right now. I don't know how much geometry I'm using by making this pipe. So to get that idea, I'm gonna go to display options, and I'm gonna turn on the guarded shading plus lines. So by having this view, I am able to detect that how much geometry or how much polygon faces I am generating right now. And also I can notice that the shape is a little bit not straight or maybe not smooth. To fix that issue, we need to make some more point angles in the spline values. By just clicking on the spline, and I can see in the attributes area, here is the angle. I can adjust the point angles of my spline. So after the default value was 5, I just turned it to 2 maybe, or yeah, and by just turning it to 2, the smoothness is now very good, and I can feel it that it is looking good. So now here comes the part that how you can repeat or duplicate this thing. So to duplicate this thing, I'm gonna go to Mograph, and I'm gonna just hold my Alt key, and I'm gonna click on cloner. Sorry. Before hitting the Alt key, I need to select the sweep nerves, not the spline. If I, for example, as you saw, accidentally that spline was selected, and I just clicked on cloner, and it what it did, that it just calculated the spline with the cloner, and the cloner just multiplied the spline into 3. So I'm gonna undo this thing, and then I'm gonna select my sweep nerves, and then I'm gonna go to cloner, and then by holding Alt button, I just clicked on cloner, and it just automatically made the child of this cloner of this sweep nerves. So we are gonna call this basic underscore pipe. So by going ahead, you can see that right now, okay, by the way, if you're not comfortable pressing Alt button, you can just go to Mograph and you can add the cloner, and then by gripping and dragging and dropping this basic pipe inside of the cloner, you will get the same result. So it depends on you how much you're comfortable using the shortcuts. So here we have it. Now in the cloner we can see that right now we are in the linear mode, and we are using per step, and if we go further it is gonna make some kind of wall of this pipe, so we don't want this effect. So to get our desired look, we are gonna select the radial mode, and then we are gonna turn off this option aligned. So here you can see that it is now in its perfect position, and it is giving us the similar result that you saw in the start of the video. So here you can select your plane adjustments. It depends on your choice, what actually shape you're behind, what shape you're looking for. So, and now I would like to add some random effector to displace its position, and here I can adjust its position by just changing these numbers of the position. By the way, I can also play with the scale, and I can get some random results. And just make it sure that when the camera is closer to this shape, then just make it sure that these shapes are not crossing each other, or maybe not interrupting into each other's structure. So after adjusting some things, few things, maybe we can add another pipe in it. To do that, you just need to click on your basic pipe and click and hold your control button, and then just drag this thing a little up. So for this way we just have duplicated our basic pipe, and we have two pipes in it. So we can adjust its properties, we can change its shape to whatever we want, and we can also lower down its scale, so it's looking much better. And also we can increase the quantity and the count of our shapes as much as you want. So here we have the basic structure that we were looking for. Now we are going to add some random textures in it. To do that, just double click on this area. This is the texture area, or you can go to the new material. So by doing that, I'm gonna double click to open the material editor, and I will go right inside of I can go inside of color channel, or maybe I can go into luminance channel. It depends on me. If I'm gonna use luminance channel, then I am pretty sure that the lighting would not be that necessary to add in this scene. So to do so, I need to go to texture, and then I will click on this little arrow, and then I will go to effects. Sorry, I will go to Mograph, and then I will go to multi-shader. So we have added just multi-shader into our material editor. After that, I'm gonna click on this white button, and then here you can see some options, some basic options that you can see. This is the thing that where we can add some of our desired colors. For example, here is texture 1, texture 2. By default, multi-shader offers us 2 texture slots, but we can add as much as we want. For example, I want to add 5 or 6 colors, and I will just click on this add button, and it will automatically add shader slots. So I'm gonna in this texture 1, I'm gonna select the color option, and in the color I want it to be little orangey. So here we go. And after that, in the color 2, I'm gonna change the color to, for example, pure red. And then in texture 3, I'm gonna select color, maybe something yellow. And then, oh, yellow, I don't like this. I can select green, little yellowish green, yeah. And in the 4, I can choose some other type of color, for example, this dark blue. And then I can go to texture slot number 5, and then I can select anything. For example, like this. And then, okay, by the way, you instead of choosing any color, you can also load the texture. For example, you can load any image that you want. It totally depends on you, that what look you are looking for. So I'm gonna change this color. For example, let me choose a little black one. So here we have it. Now I'm gonna put this material on basic pipe setup, and I'm just gonna click and hold on control button, and then I will just drag and drop this existing material inside of on that other pipe. But now in the viewport you can see we are having some issue with the color, because we are having the same color. There is nothing that we can tell that there is anything which is multicolor. So to fix that issue, we need to double click on the material. There we go. And then probably, okay, 1 minute. First of all, let me just copy this thing and paste inside of the color channel, because luminance is too much bright and I'm not getting any shadow information. So to fix that issue, you need to go to the multi-shader, and then you need to go to mode, and instead of by default you will see the option of color brightness. You are going to click on that, and you are going to change it to index ratio. So here we go. And as you click on index ratio, here you will be able to see the effect happening here. So what you can see, that we have now random pipes of different colors. So looking cool. And also I need to maybe turn down turn down the scale of my pipe. This is too way big. Yeah, something like 10 out of 10. Yeah, this is looking cool. This is not bad. And in the random settings, I maybe need to set out the position, because they are too much dispersed and I don't want that effect. So here we go. And also maybe we need to turn it to 2, because I am looking at some of the non-smooth piping. So here we have our basic setup, and now we need to add some background. To add the background in the scene, I need to go to this floor kind of icon, and then I'm gonna select background. To give a background a color, I need to make a material. I will drag and drop that material to the background, and then I will go to the color channel, and then I will add gradient. And in the gradient, I'm going to select circular, and in the black side, I will probably like to add some bluish tone, and I will also invert the knobs. So we have the center a little bit white, and the outer areas a little bit black, and some kind of vignette effect. So when we click on render, we can see it right here. So I think the black color is way too much in this thing. To fix that, maybe we need to click on up. Yep, Here we have, now we have only one black. So if you find anything weird, that if you want your this red color to be prominent, you always need to click on up, down, blah blah blah, and you will see the random results here. So now we have our basic scene setup. Sorry, 1 minute. Let me save my scene. This I will give it a name of abstract abstract video fort underscore. So here we go. So now we need to add some light. To add the light, you can select sunlight. This is a light I loved a lot. So here you need to adjust the latitude and longitude until you get some light on your elements. So here we go. There we got some light, some good light. And then I will go to the settings, to the render settings, and I will change the anti-aliasing to best, and then cubic still image to animation, and then in the effect I will go to effects, and I will add an ambient occlusion effect, and then global illumination. So to get some faster results for this video tutorial purpose, I'm gonna change this sampling to medium to low, and irradiance cache to medium to low also. And then in the general, I will change GI mode to IR still image to QMC still image. So it is gonna produce some good results for us. So here we go. Now I'm gonna render this out to check that what we are getting so far. So it is not that bad. We are getting almost the same results as you saw before the start of this video tutorial. I'm gonna change the render settings. I am in output settings, and I'm gonna change the custom settings from width and height of your video, of your final output. Here you can change it. For example, I am changing it to 1280 to 720, and frame rate is just fine. Okay. So here we have sunlight is not working as we have expected, so I'm gonna add some sky and some more illumination, and then I will create a material. I will turn off to get the brightest illumination in, because we have global illumination on, then we need to add some sky object. It is always recommended that if you're rendering any you're rendering any scene that is related to the outer world, like architecture or sky or like wider spaces, then you need to enable global illumination, and you need to add some sky, because it's gonna spread the light all around to the scene. So in the I have after adding the light to the sky, and I just made a new texture, and I just turned off all the color and the specular channels except luminance, because this is luminance is the channel that is gonna spread, and which is gonna give us some photon power, and is something that is gonna give us a light source. So after adding it, I'm adding in it compositing tag. To add the compositing tag, you need to right click on the sky object, on any object you want to add any tag. You need to right click on it, and then Cinema 4D tags, and then you need to select compositing. And in the compositing, you need to uncheck this scene by camera. So now we have our normal background, and but this sky object is now emitting the light, which is gonna affect all the scene. So here you can see the difference. So now we have very much neat and clean scene here, which is looking very good. And probably I'm still seeing some non-smooth piping, so I would love to change this spline to 0 and 0. It is gonna produce some geometry, but you know, to fix the smoothness in the scene, it is recommended that you adjust your point angles. So we have a fairly good render here. To add, now we have completed our first part. So now we're gonna go forward to the second part, where we're gonna add some fragments of this cylinder. So here we go. We have cylinder. We are gonna reduce the rotation segments from 35 to maybe 4. Yeah, maybe 4 will just work fine. And we're gonna make it a little smaller. To do that, just select your scale tool, and then maybe it's gone. Okay, I'm sorry. So select your scale tool, select your cylinder, and select any object that you want to change the property of scale, and then take your mouse cursor anywhere in the screen and just drag and drop it to the level where you are thinking that it is now perfectly scaled down and scaled up, or where you are satisfied. So here we have, I'm satisfied with this small size. Maybe I'm gonna increase a little bit of the height, and then I will again select the Mograph cloner, and then I will keep pressing Alt. I will click on the cloner, and it will automatically make the cylinder child of this cloner. So now this cloner needs to have to we need to tell that we want this cylinder to be spread out on the position of the spline that we have used in the scene. To do that, we need to probably separate this spline. Or maybe what we can do, we can duplicate this cloner, and we can shut down our previous one, and then we will just click yeah, 1 minute, I'm sorry, yeah, here we go. We need to just turn off the spline from our basic pipe, and we need to plug into the cloner itself directly. So by doing that, we are getting the spline getting multiplied by the cloner as same as we have our pipes. So here we have our basic splines. Now it means that having these splines, we can assign these cylinder to this spline. So hopefully this thing is making sense to you, that we have this cloner setup. Let me turn it on. Yeah, here we have our cloner setup, and probably mistakenly I have played, or maybe I have displaced its position. I need to adjust it a little bit where the original position is, and then here we go. Yep, it's looking fine. So now we have spline. We are this cloner is multiplying this spline by 9. Then we need to click on C again. Now we have 9 splines. So to connect these splines to each other, we need to right click on it, and then we need to go right on this option, connect objects plus delete. There we go. Now we have 1 spline, and now we need to go to this cloner, and then into the cloner option of mode, we need to select object, and in the object we are gonna drag and drop this spline. So here we go. As we dropped it, you can see that we have some cylinders on these pipes. We need to play with the rotation of this cloner to adjust the alignment of our cylinders. Maybe the 90 would be working just fine. So here we go. Now we need to multiply the count, and it is already looking much better. So we have a very beautiful scene here. So to add some random shape or maybe random positioning, we need to go to effector and the beautiful and favorite effector random we are going to add in it. So here we have the random effector, and then we can play with the scale, and we can uniform the scale, and we can scale them up, scale them down. It's up to us. And then also we can play with the rotation. It's up to you, you know, but telling you is actually very necessary. So you would have the freedom to play with all the settings. So to give this cylinder a random color as we give to these pipes, we need to drag this the existing material to that cylinder directly. So here we have. So it is probably giving us 1 minute. Let me hide our piping, and then we can see that we have some random colors of our pipes. So the only problem we are having is right now that the colors are a little bit you know, uniquely I'm sorry, 1 minute. I need to change. Yeah, I'm a little bit much relaxed now. Okay. So we have some unified colors to the specific positions. This is itself is a very good effect. If you want to keep it like this, you can keep it, or maybe you can again play with the positioning of your cloner like that. Here we go. So to mix this thing, you probably need to copy this thing and paste this thing, and then you need to double click on it, and to make the duplicate of your material, what you need to do is actually you need to drag this thing, but before dropping this thing you need to click on Control and keep clicking on it. I mean hold that Control button, and it will make an instance of that material. So we are gonna put this thing on it, and in the material I'm gonna I'm gonna just randomize these colors, or maybe I will remove some of the colors from it. And already you can see, I'm sorry, I'm having some issue with my throat. So here you can see that you are getting some random colors now. So I'm sorry. So the problem is now fixed. We have our random colors, and probably we need to fix this red one. To do that, we need to go to down. We need to click on down. Here we go. We have some random colors. And also, I also think that the radius of this pipe is way too big. So let me fix this thing by turning down the radius a bit, and then turning up the height a bit, turning off the height a bit. For example, let me turn it to 30, and now we have some cool looking fragments and cool looking pipes. Let me render it again, and let's see what we are getting. Okay, that's perfect. This is looking very neat, and something that we can count on. Okay, So we have the basic setup now, as I have promised with you guys that I will tell you that how you can intelligently and efficiently use your camera to animate your scenes. So I'm using Cinema 4D version 14 and it is updated version. So to add the camera, I need to click on this camera icon and then I need to select the camera, motion camera, stereo camera, target, and the camera. Right now I'm gonna select this camera, and to give it a base I'm gonna add a circle, spline circle, and also I'm gonna place this spline circle right on the camera from center. Here we go. I'm just gonna align the center of this camera to that spline. And I will also change its alignment to X and Z, so it will now perfectly be aligned, hopefully. Yep. Just to make it sure that we have some perfect alignment. So we have aligned our camera to the spline. And after aligning that, we need to tell the camera that, 1 minute, sorry, yeah, here we go. We have to tell the camera that you're gonna perfectly align to that circle. To do that, we need to go to Cinema 4D tag, and then we're gonna select the tag, align to spline. Here we go. So we're gonna select the spline and we're gonna drag and drop to the spline path. So now we just have told to that spline factor, to the Spline Controller, that you're gonna be controlled by this spline. So, and this controller is gonna connect this camera to that circle. So to get that sense, we're gonna watch it from top, and after that we are having some issue with the rotation and alignment. To fix this thing, we're gonna add an other tag to this camera, and that tag is target. And in the target object, we're gonna define the circle again, like this. So right now we can see that we can rotate our camera, and we can, you know, move up and down our camera, and then we can scale down and scale up our camera, and also we can make a movement in our camera. So now it's up to us where we want to place our camera. So for now I'm gonna just turn the rotation to 51%, and then, you know, right now you can see that I cannot use the standard navigation controls on my viewboard, because I have connected the camera, and this camera is connected to this circle. So now to fix the camera position, I need to move this circle and circle positions, and then the camera is moving with it automatically. So now we have a basic setup of our camera. We can now, as you can see, that we can we can move it up and down, we can rotate it a bit, and we can move it where we want. So to make some animation, we are gonna so now this is the part where we are gonna bake some animation. To bake some animation, we are gonna select the layout from startup to animation, and don't be afraid, this is a very lovely animation, especially for animation, to animate the objects. After selecting your animation layout, we're gonna have some keynotes here. We're gonna record some keys here. To record keys, you need to press your control button and keep it pressed until you click on your this small circular icon. So I'm gonna record my keyframes here, and I'm also gonna press shift, and then I will click on this object option. So by doing that, I'm watching all the information right in this one panel, or otherwise I would have to move to this object and code one again and again. So to fix this thing, I need to press shift and then click on object. And now I'm gonna also add some keyframe to this radius. Now we have 7 keyframes, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. This is for X position, Y and Z position. This is for rotation, X, Y and Z rotation, and this is for the radius. So here we can see that we have basic keyframe here, and we are gonna do something else with it now. To do that, we are gonna move this camera ahead a little bit, something like here, and then I will record my keyframe. Since we haven't changed the rotation, so we didn't see any yellow mark here, so everything is there. So one mistake I did, that I didn't change that timeline to the specific point. To fix that thing, I'm going to click on Z, Control plus Z, so I'm back to the frame 1, and then I'm going to select frame number 20, and then again I'm going to move this thing a little bit above, so again I'm going to record this keyframe. So let's play the animation, but oh yeah, this is pretty fast, but I like this thing. Let's change it to 25, and we have a little bit of subtle movement here. So let's check it. Yeah, that's great. Here we have boom, boom. Wow, that's great. So after that, if you want, you can go ahead and you can make you can change the position of your camera, for example, like something here, and then you can record your keyframes there. And maybe on this point I want this camera to move something here, because this is the center point of that curve. And after we are done, wow, so after we are done with the blocking, with the block animations, we need to like you say, we need to polish the animation. We need to make some adjustments to the rotation as well, but for now we are gonna adjust the movement to the at the momento, or maybe the velocity and all sort of these things, so our animation will look much more better. To do that, by default you will see that it is the switch to key mode is all key mode is by default turned on. To watch the slide and watch the watch the real curve, we need to select the F curve mode. So click here. So now we need to select our, so we already know that we have made animation in our circle. So to make adjustment, I need to open up all the groups, and then I need to select which position I want to edit. So here we go, for example here. So here I can see that this is the basic curve that I have got automatically by just recording the keyframes, and maybe I want to make some adjustment to it. For example, if I want to make it a little bit natural, or maybe something that is little fast in the start and something that is slow in the end, then I will make some adjustments. So here we go. Here we are gonna change it to something like this. This is the position, and maybe this is not a good idea to change this. Let me play it. Okay, we have very subtle animation. So probably we need to change the rotation. To do that, here I want to change the rotation of my camera to this way. To do that, I need to turn it a little bit down. Yeah, something like this. So as my camera moving, I can make some adjustments here. As my camera moves, I can tell the slider that where you're gonna control the movement of my camera. So right now it is moving very fast and very quickly, so I'm gonna stretch it a little bit more. Yeah, maybe something like here. Yeah, this is the adjustment and that is controlling the rotation of our camera. Yep, that's perfect. This is looking cool. So here we go. Let me play the animation. Yeah, it is looking a little bit really bad because it is changing its position in the end. To fix this thing, we need to click here and need to drag this thing down. Yep, something like this. So now our camera is changing its rotation and it is maintaining its rotation, but we want it to be something like this. So we have to adjust the curves. Everything depends on curves, you know. These are the strings that are controlling our camera, the movement of our camera. We can adjust the movement of our camera frame by frame and millisecond by millisecond and pixel by pixel. You know, this is the thing that we need to pay a little bit more attention. So I think this is moving a little bit jaggy. Yeah, this is cool. Yeah, let me watch it in the perspective. What is it giving? Yeah, okay, here is the problem. We are getting out of the scene and we are getting out of the tunnel. To fix this thing, we are gonna adjust this position parameters. This is X position, probably this is the position which is causing it to go out from the scene. So here we have, and we are still in the tunnel, and maybe, yeah, something like this. So let me play this animation again. Yeah, this is not bad. This is not bad at all, but we are missing something else. And what is this? Okay, one more shortcut that I want to share with you guys, which is very easy for you to understand and maybe to pick to make these sort of animations. To do that, we need to go to modeling and sorry, not modeling, in the startup, and that is we have already made a spline, not this spline, this one. So we can actually attach our camera. Instead of this circle, we can attach this camera to the spline. So to do that, we need to drag the spline into the spline tag. Here we have it, and as you can see that it is not on its position. To fix this thing, we need to again take it on the place where we think that it is perfectly aligned. Yeah, something like this. And now we are already inside of scene. So as we play the animation, we can see that we are in the tunnel, but something is happening weird. What is this? We need to check this thing out. We need to adjust the spline. Maybe something like this. So you know, everything depends on the adjustment. I don't know why it is changing its face, why it is moving like this. Yeah, we have it. It is, yeah, from position number 10 we are animating it, and it is going right on the wrong place. Well, this is not a thing to be worried about, because we are going to adjust the position of our spline. Here we have it. Here we go. But still we are not getting the desired result. Okay, well, we can fix this thing. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now let me check. Yeah, this is looking much better. Probably we need to change it to tangential. Yeah, and this is looking fine, because we are still inside of our tunnel. But in the start, something seems to be happening not good. So to select our spline and see where we need to go, something like here. Yeah, this is the position that we want to be, and here we go. Yep, something like this. And don't be afraid of these black things, because these are the things that we are traveling in, but these things are perfect in the render. So this is the procedure to make this thing happen. And to do the basic animation, we are just gonna record some of the keyframes from here. For example, the position from here to here, and there we go. Okay, second 0. There we go. And we are traveling right inside of the tunnel. So to make sure that our camera is inside of the tunnel, we are gonna check these sides, and then let me check the render. Yeah, we are in the tunnel, and this is cool. And this is looking really cool. So here we have the basic animation that we are traveling through this tunnel. You can, you can refine it, and you can make it much more polished. You can make it, as much as refined if you want, because it's gonna take a lot of time for you to adjust the animation. And this is the basic info, and this is the basic information that you might need to understand the animation procedure of this animation, this scene. So this is the whole tutorial, and we have our animation, we have our basic structure, and we have the basic scene setup here that you saw in the start of this video tutorial. So hopefully you like the video, and you like the basic technique that we have used to make this scene, and the lighting setup, and the illumination thing, and the small little tips that we have shared with you. If you have any question, and if you want me to make any tutorial on any other topic, please do write me directly, and then I will definitely be working on it, and I will record the tutorial for you specifically. And I don't know you liked the video tutorial or not. I really do not know because I don't have got any feedback from you. But hopefully if I got any positive feedback from your side, then I will be recording much more other tutorials very soon. So take care of yourself, and please keep visiting Video Fort, and very soon you're gonna get very huge stuff from Video Fort, something like After Effects templates, Cinema 4D templates, and stock footage, and much more things that you can use in your production studios. Okay guys, thanks a lot for watching the video. Bye. Thank you.